Welcome back to the Shy City Boys podcast. I am Carl Liza. With me, as always, is Jack Thiel. Jack, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. We're almost entering the midnight mark here on
Oh
Tuesday
yeah,
night. But baseball back underway. NBA
opening.
playing games were today. Some of them. The Nets and Cavs played. The Nets won. Good for
Yeah,
them. They
so
will
they're
now
the
be
seventh
the
seed
seventh seed. And
against Boston.
currently we have I believe the Clippers and Timberwolves, as the Timberwolves are winning by 2 as
Yes,
we speak.
with
So
with 4 minutes left, and we'll update you guys once it's over.
I guess we will. But
Yeah.
so yeah, so just sports going on in general. The NFL draft heating up. We had interesting news, not like in the podcast, but just with the number one pick in general. We'll go more into depth about that probably the draft week. But yeah, it's been a pretty good week, Carl. How are you doing?
Yes. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay.
I I noticed that you haven't got a haircut yet.
No, I haven't. It'll be coming soon. It'll be
How
coming
long
soon.
has it been since you got a haircut?
Probably 3, 4 months.
Like and subscribe if Carl needs a haircut.
Oh, speaking of that, if you guys have any suggestions, comments, things we're doing right, things we're doing wrong, please put them in the uh comment section so we
I
can
will
improve
I will
and,
say
and
for our
bring you
viewers,
a better podcast.
we will have a brand new segment next week with a brand new member of Shy City Boys.
A special a
It,
special guest that'll become permanent at
maybe
some
at times he's right now going to be our social media coordinator,
point. Mhm.
but he's going to be doing his first segment, which is called G in the Streets. And we're not going to tell you much about it. That's about it. You'll
Yeah,
find out next Wednesday when it's on the podcast. But yeah, so we're going to be introducing new segments for you guys. But for right now, like Carl said, any recommendations, suggestions, just let us know. We'd be happy to hear from you guys.
absolutely. So, Jack, let's start with opening week, opening day. Let's talk about the White Sox. Go ahead and give the first series review.
Well, opening day freaking sucked. I mean, that sucked. I'm just gonna be honest with you. The White Sox, I mean, losing to the Tigers is one thing, but just blowing the lead they had is another. I mean, Lucas Giolito throws a gem. He's out, leaves the game with an injury. For updates, Lucas Giolito is heading to the 10-day IL. He is out for at least 2 starts. So just to give you an update on that. So now him and Lance Lynn are on the IL, but White Sox, they were up 3-0. Then they blow that. They're up 4-3 with 1 out left in the bottom of the ninth. And then Hendricks gives up a home run and a hit, and that's it. But the White Sox have responded very well. They've won their last 3 games, including today's home opener against the Seattle Mariners. But, I think for the White Sox, it's, I mean, I think everybody knows how good they are. It's just staying healthy. And they really can't stay healthy. AJ Pollock is out with an injury, but he is on paternity leave right now. His wife is expecting a kid in Arizona this week. So even if he didn't get hurt, he wouldn't be with the team this week in general. But nevertheless, I've really liked what I've seen so far from this team. Luis Robert, I really can't explain how good he looks right now, especially today against the Mariners. Luis Robert looks like the MVP. Andrew Vaughn killing the ball. Eloy's killing it. Jose's on a little slow of a start, which I'm kind of surprised, but I'll tell you this. We'll kind of look back on this, but Jose really heats up around, that May, June, July around time. So, but in general, it's been a good 4 games so far for the White Sox. I think 3-1 isn't that bad. I mean, I think it's tied for like the best record in the MLB, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure with the other teams, but in terms of winning percentage, actually, it's not the best. There's teams that are 4-1. So, but you win baseball games, and that's what you got to do. And the White Sox have done that so far. I think obviously they'll continue doing that, but I'm glad to see Luis Robert has really picked up where he left off last year. And my Cy Young pick, Dylan Cease, had one great first start of the year, and he's going to look to bounce back at Friday night against the Tampa Bay Rays. at the G spot. So White Sox, they're doing their thing. They're playing their baseball. I think it's going to be a fun year for them. We obviously talked about this last week, kind of previewing everything, but over these last 4 games, it's kind of just been simple baseball for the team. I mean, they can easily be undefeated, but I mean, there's not even one undefeated team in baseball right now. I believe it was in the first 4 or 5 days, there were no more undefeated teams. So it just tells you the type of competition we're going to have in the MLB.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So let's go on to my Chicago Cubs. They are currently 3-1 with their win today against the Pirates. And let me just say this: we beat probably the top 3 1-2 staff in the league. We beat Corbin Burns. We beat Woodruff. And then we gave Freddie Peralta a run for his money also. So far, so good. We won the first game 5-4. The second game got postponed. And then the next game against Woodruff, Woodruff just couldn't pitch in the cold weather. We slaughtered 9-0. And then unfortunately we did lose the next game 5-4. One bright spot, a couple bright spots. One, our starting rotation, Kyle Hendricks looking like his former Cy Young candidate self. Justin Steele, people said he couldn't pitch at Wrigley. People said he couldn't pitch in the daytime. But guess what? He put a masterclass on. No runs scored. No earned runs. A walk or two, I don't remember. And then Marcus Stroman, Marcus Stroman, he's going to be the signing of the offseason for the Cubs. Besides this other person, Seiya Suzuki. Oh my gosh. He's only the second Japanese-born player to hit 3 home runs in the first 4 games of his career. You want to know the other one, Jack?
Probably Shohei.
Shohei Ohtani's the other one. So that's a good thing. And our leadoff hitter, Rafael Ortega, in the 3-game series against Milwaukee, he had a base on balls each start of the game. That's crazy. So I like what they're doing. Good start. We beat the Pirates today on Seiya's 2 solo home runs. We gave a 1 home run to Brian Reynolds, their best player, out of the bullpen. Our bullpen still isn't good, but they should be able to keep us in the game, and I can't wait to see what else this team does.
I think like the interesting thing is about the Brewers is I don't know what it is about them, but they just like they I don't know. If I were a Brewers fan, I'd be really like frustrated with the team in general.
Oh yeah.
I'm not trying to like fault the Cubs or anything, but the Brewers team lost to the Orioles yesterday too. Like I don't get what it is about the Brewers. Like this is a team that's like supposed to be picked first, and obviously a lot of baseball left, but I mean they're dropping games they're supposed to win like flies, and here is the St. Louis Cardinals who are just mashing the baseball.
Yeah.
So I don't get them. The Brewer, I would hate to be a Brewers fan, man. They would piss me off if I were a fan. Just how many easy games they're losing, but they usually get hot. When they get hot, they just don't lose, and maybe we'll see that.
Yeah. One other team I wanted to talk about, the Cleveland Guardians.
Oh boy.
In the first 2 games against the Royals, they put up 1 score. But you want to know what they put up in the next 3 games combined? 37, 17, 10, and 10. Unbelievable. People were saying they weren't going to be able to hit, and for the first 2 games, it really looked like it. But in the past 3 games, 37 runs. Man, that offense is going to be really streaky. I don't see them making the playoffs or anything, but it's going to be streaky for the whole season.
I think it's important to notice the teams they've played are the Royals and the Reds.
Still,
I understand, but still, it's the Royals and Reds who have no pitching at all.
Hunter Green debuted for the Reds, and he did
Yeah, but
spectacular.
he didn't pitch against the Guardians though.
True, it's true.
If he pitched against the Guardians, they would have never scored that many runs.
Yeah, but still, it's 37. No matter what team, 37 in 3 games. It's impressive.
I thought what was interesting about this week is one team who I look at, and I feel bad just because how tough their schedule is going to be, is the Texas Rangers.
Oh,
They started the season with the Blue Jays, and it's the Blue Jays. Like, how are you going to beat them? Like, they're a good baseball team, and I just feel bad. The Rangers are such a well-talented team, and they're just not going to be able to compete at that level just with their pitching, but their hitting is just unstoppable. But I do not understand how the Tampa Bay Rays win. I understand they've only played the Orioles and the Athletics, but they're missing their Cy Young candidate pitcher Tyler Glass now. They lost. Was it Hunter Renfroe? It was Renfroe, or no, it was Meadows. Austin Meadows is not on the team anymore, obviously.
he got traded to Detroit.
Yeah, no Blake Snell, obviously. He's with San Diego. And I don't get it. I like Wander Franco, obviously, is one of the just generational talent. But that's really, like, I don't get how they keep winning. Like, it's really like
Next man up.
and yeah, it is like that for them. And the White Sox will get a taste of them this weekend. The Cubs get a taste of them next week. So
We are going to the Tuesday game.
you just ruined our new segment, but whatever, Carl. But yeah, I don't get it. And I also feel bad for that team just because their fan base is so poor.
Yeah.
Their fans don't come out at all. It was funny. On opening day, they had a game at Tropicana, and the Rays came out with a press release saying that the game was sold out. But the thing is that the Rays closed off the top part of like the 300 level of the stadium. So it was really, people were only allowed to sit in the 100 level and like the club seats. There was no one sitting at that in the outfield as well, but there was no one sitting at top on the 300 level. And I just feel bad, and I think that's why we really could see this team on the move soon. This team could be this could be not an expansion team, but a relocation. I really believe this is possible if they can't get their fan base up. They're literally been a top AL team for the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's just I just don't get it.
I'll bring you this question, Jack. If they were to move, where do you see them moving?
Montreal, I think, would be a cool spot to go back to.
Bring back the Expos?
I don't even know if to bring back the Expos, but I think that when you think of when you're going to move a team, I think you're going to want to move a team where a team's already been. So, like, let's say Vegas, they build a baseball stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to move the Rays to Vegas. I'd want to build a brand new team,
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the thing. That's, and I think for the Rays, the thing is you want to move, but I don't know how far you want to move geographically, because I'm not sure like what the fan base would be in Montreal, because there's the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, and they have a great fan base.
Yeah.
So let's say a team goes to Montreal, I would really have a hard time thinking that they would be like, oh, team in Montreal, we're gonna go root for them now. Screw the Blue Jays. Like, I don't know how it is. You look at the Rays ticket prices, they're very expensive. And I don't get that. They are expensive tickets. They're more expensive than the White Sox. And yeah, so if they were to move, I know Montreal's been talked about a lot.
I have my answer.
I believe Buffalo has been talked about as well. But yeah, what is your answer, Carl?
My answer would be Louisville, Kentucky, because Louisville Sluggers is very synonymous with baseball. What?
But there's one problem with that.
What's that?
There's a minor league team in Louisville,
Okay.
Kentucky.
Okay.
But see, here's the problem. If you move a professional team where there's a minor league team, that minor league team is not going to get nobody at their games.
Move the minor league team.
You can't. That's not how that works.
I don't know.
So that's why you see all these minor, like look at the Cubs, the Iowa, South Bend.
Yeah.
Tell me one professional team in that area. You can't. Tell me a professional team in the Louisville, Kentucky area. You can't. For the White Sox, the Charlotte Knights. Tell me a professional team, baseball team in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can't.
Yeah.
That's my point. That these minor league teams are in areas where, and not just minor league, but professional teams in general are in areas where there's no professional teams within probably 20, 30 minutes. So if you're the Rays, you're going to go somewhere where obviously there's not a minor league team. I thought about the idea of Buffalo, but then I literally am a hypocrite because there's a minor league team in Buffalo, New York.
There's minor league teams all over the country.
Yeah, but there's one specifically in Buffalo, New York. There's not one in Montreal at all.
There is no minor league teams in Montreal.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think they will move there.
Or even in Canada. I don't think there's a minor league.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So they have the freedom.
But do you see another team going to Canada?
Yeah, I do.
I really don't.
I do. I think that that
maybe Mexico City. I've heard that thrown around.
See, I don't know about that one. It's just a tricky thing. Is just the border and with passports and everything, and I get that. Yeah. And that's why I think for the Rays, they're really gonna have to think of something. I mean, they're not really. I mean, I've heard a lot of bad things about the stadium. Like it's a crap. Like it's not really nice, But I think for the Rays, it's just you gotta find some way to bring attendance, or it's time to move. And I think it's been talked about a lot these last years, and it's hard. It's hard to move a winning baseball team. And if they
didn't they want to play half their ball games in Toronto?
Yeah, it was in Montreal.
Was it Montreal?
Yeah, so
the NBA or the MLB denied it.
Something like that. Yeah, and I think that's smart by the MLB because that makes no freaking sense to play half your games across the country. Yeah. Like that's if it was like Orlando, Florida. Okay, I get that. That's right there. But all the way in Montreal to play half your games, that just puts stress on traveling, and for the players become jet lagged because they got to do all this traveling. And so I don't know. We'll see what the Rays, but it just sucks to see a winning team like them not get the respect they deserve from their fan base.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about basketball. The NBA playoffs are starting, like we said earlier. The play-in tournaments, 2 of them have been played today. One's currently still going on. The matchups are set for the 3 seed through the 6 seed on both sides. And so far we know Brooklyn is playing the Celtics. So Jack, what's the most intriguing first round game series is for you?
Well, other than the Bulls, because obviously the Bulls.
Yeah, besides the Bulls.
I mean, I think you go to that Brooklyn and Boston series, with Kyrie, KD, and obviously on the other side, you got guys like Tatum, Brown, and I really think that I think we can all agree the Nets are better than a 7 seed. And I don't know, that matchup really just entices me. Just it's KD, it's Kyrie, you got Steve Nash as your coach. On the other side, you got Tatum and Brown, a really strong defensive team, but you're literally playing the guy who can't be guarded. 2 guys that really can't be guarded. So other than that Bull series, I definitely would say that one, I want to, I'm trying to think of another series, but that one really makes, tickles my funny bone because I just really like to see how that one ends up. Another interesting one, and I think this series has the potential to be one of the great series of all time. And this is depending on the health status of two players. So the Warriors and Mavericks play in the first round. Now,
No, that's not true.
it is not, or did it not? I thought it said they
Utah and Mavericks,
did.
and
Okay.
then
So my
Nuggets and
bad.
Warriors.
My bad. The Warriors and Nuggets.
Yes.
And the reason why this is interesting is because you got Jokic, who's probably the MVP on one side.
Mhm.
You got Curry, who might play in game one. We don't know yet. And I think this is important for the Nuggets just because obviously they're missing key parts of their teams. But I think this can be a great series because you answer this: who's going to guard Jokic on the Warriors? Who's going to guard Curry on the Nuggets?
Exactly.
I can really see this being a back and forth matchup, but I definitely got to go with the series between the Nets and Celtics. I think that one's really intriguing, and like I said, I really can see that one being Game 6, Game 7. You know, you got celebrities on courtside seats just to watch that game.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with. Oh, just by the way, the Timberwolves did win. They won 1-0.
They will play the Grizzlies.
They will play the Grizzlies.
That's a good matchup too.
And I will look at the score because that was going to be my matchup no matter who won. The Timberwolves versus the Grizzlies. Wow. Timberwolves have averaged the most points per game since the All-Star break, and Memphis has been just like the Suns, just steampiling through the whole league. They fought to the number 2 seed, but neither of these teams really have playoff experience. I know Cat's been in the playoffs one time, but really no one on this Memphis team has.
No,
we're gonna have to see.
They were in the play-in last year.
Play-in doesn't count as.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. They were in the play-in. They didn't make it. They lost to the Lakers.
Yeah.
We watched that game together, Carl.
We did. So I think this is going to be a big matchup for Ja Morant against D'Lo. It's going to be a big matchup for Cat and who's the center?
Edwards.
Anthony Edwards. Yeah.
Are you talking about the center for the Grizzlies?
Yeah.
Steven Adams.
Okay, that's not.
So here's my question for you.
What's up?
Does Beverly guard Ja?
Yeah.
Try to get in his head. Try because
definitely because
I think it's Ja.
Obviously, yes, he is because this is going to be Ja's first real playoff game, real first playoff series. But I love the dog in Morant. I think he's going to go off like that first game in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago. Remember when he was at Murray State? He went off for a triple-double in that first game. I think that's what's going to happen.
One thing we've seen is that the Grizzlies can win without Ja Morant, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not saying Ja Morant's not good, but, like, this team is loaded. They have a lot of depth. You mentioned Ja Morant, but you got to look at a guy like Desmond Bane, who has really been a crucial part. Tyus Jones off the bench. DeAnthony Melton, another guy. Zaire Williams. So, no, I really think that this matchup can be interesting. The only thing I do worry is the death of the Timberwolves. That's all.
Yeah, because they do have like a 3-headed monster in D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns, but these guys are young. They're still young. Cat's probably has the most experience out of all of them, besides like Patrick Beverly, who's been in the playoffs multiple times. But still, both of these teams are young. They're hungry, and one of them is going to make it into the second round. Who do you think is going to win that matchup?
I gotta go Grizzlies.
You think they have good enough defense to stop the Timberwolves?
Yeah.
Or the hot streak they've been on?
Yeah, I do. I do. And the reason I say that is Karl-Anthony Towns is going to have a hard time scoring inside. I know he can shoot. He still got to score inside. Ja Morant has been a good defender. Desmond Bane's another good defender. Jaren Jackson I believe he's a shot block leader. I mean, he had a lot of he had some blocking record I don't know if it was within the franchise or what, but I'll take the Grizzlies in 5. I think this is a motivated team. I think that we've we've been waiting for the crash and burn of the Grizzlies all year long. But I think that they've proven that they deserve to be there and that John Morant is a generational talent.
Yeah.
And I get it, the big three on the Timberwolves, but when you have a generational talent like John Morant, you just win. And I
Yeah.
think that's what it's going to come down to at the end.
Yeah. So let's go over these other matchups really quickly. We got the Jazz against the Mavericks. Luka's probably not playing game one. And that's really all their offense.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah.
I think even with Luka, I'll take Jazz. I
Okay,
think
the game
Yeah.
one or the whole series?
whole series.
Yeah, I'll take them
think
whole
that
series.
No matter, you said it right on point. Literally, Luka's that whole team, and for the Jazz, you got guys like Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert,
This is probably their last stance together.
Royce O'Neal, Bogdanovich, or whatever his name is, Ingles. Is he on the team still or no?
Angles is injured,
Okay, but still, I think
but I think he got traded.
I'll take the Jazz in 7 or 6. I think it's going to be very close. This is a 50-50 one for me.
Okay. We already talked about the Grizzlies one. How about the Raptors and the
Wait,
Sixers?
Carl, what is your
yeah. I'm also going to take the Jazz. If Luka does come back, I'll take the Mavs in 7 because I want to see Luka get out of the first round.
Okay.
But if he doesn't play the first 2-3 games, they're not winning it. So I'll start with this one, the Raptors and the Sixers. This is a big series for Joel and Harden and the whole Phillies organization. If they don't win this, I don't know what they're going to do. They kind of have to win this series. It doesn't really matter about the next series or the series after that. They don't win series number 1, that something's going to happen. So I'm going to take Philadelphia in probably 5 or 6.
I'm going to take Philly in 7.
Okay.
Now, I think Joel Embiid's going to have a huge first round because the Raptors don't really have a traditional center.
Yeah.
And Joel Embiid, no matter who's guarding him, will feast. But this is a big Raptors team.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at guys like Fred VanVleet, who's been there, Gary Trent Jr., who's been on fire, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Boucher, OG Anunoby. I really think this can give the Sixers problems, but I think Joel Embiid is going to take over. I do see James Harden really struggling this series.
Yeah, he's been struggling ever since he really got to Philadelphia.
I don't think he's going to be able to shoot the ball. I think he's going to try to kind of revert to his Houston self where he drove in a lot and try to draw fouls, but
it's not going to work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Something we've seen this year is that doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to give them in 7. I know a lot of people think this might be an easy series for the Sixers, but
it's not.
Don't count out the Raptors. They're tough. They're a good team.
They're really only a 3 games difference in their record, but
they're a good team. They've got the necessary tools to beat them.
Yeah. So let's go on to the next matchup. We got Denver against Golden State. Who do you got?
Oh man,
this might be the toughest matchup for me, at least.
Look, we've seen even without Murray and Porter Jr. that the Nuggets can still win at a high rate. But on the other side of things, the Warriors, once Curry comes back, they're fully healthy.
Yeah.
And Klay Thompson has been getting hot as of recent. I'll take the Warriors in 6. I think it can go either way. But I think obviously for the Nuggets, if they had Jamal Murray, I'd take the Nuggets. But without that just veteran superstar point guard, it's going to be tough. The Warriors are going to have a lineup of Klay, Curry, Wiggins, Draymond, and Looney. And obviously that lineup is capable of winning not even just one series, but 2 or maybe 3.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Nuggets.
Okay.
For the same reason I'm taking Philadelphia. They kind of need to win this. They need to get out of the first round for once. Or did they make it out of the first round of the bubble? Or last
The
year?
Nuggets?
Yeah. I don't
Not
really remember,
sure.
but I think they need this. I think Jokic is gonna put them on the back. I think it's gonna be enough to take down the Warriors because Curry's not gonna be 100%. Klay Thompson still isn't 100% after the 2-year absence. Andrew Wiggins was an all-star this year, but you never know. He could go back to his Minnesota self. And you really think Kevin Looney is gonna guard Jokic? I don't think so. So that's mine. I think they're gonna win it in 7. So it's 50-50, but I give it to the Nuggets. Okay, we're gonna save the Bulls and Bucks last because we're Bulls fans. Who do you think is gonna win the let's go back to the play-in tournament. Who do you think is gonna win between the Hornets and the Nets, or Hornets and the Hawks really quick?
I'm gonna go with the Hornets. They've been playing some good basketball as of late, and
I agree that I
I
agree
think
too.
LaMelo and Bridges have been really, a good duo so far this year.
Yeah, and I kind of want to see them in the playoffs. I kind of do. They haven't been in the playoffs in a while since Kemba, so let's see what they can do. Next, we got the Spurs and the Pelicans.
Give me the
Who do you
Pels.
got?
Give me the Pels.
Yeah,
They're,
Pelicans.
they're
Yeah,
a great team.
even though they're 10 games under 500,
They've been on fire.
they have been, and I just don't see the Spurs really doing anything. So, who would you have in our scenarios that we have? Who do you think is going to win, the Hornets or Cavaliers for the 8th seed?
Give me
Come on,
the Hornets.
the Hornets. Okay,
If they had Jared Allen, I would take the Cavs.
I agree with that. I would take the Hornets too. I want to see Melo. I want to see Melo in the playoffs. Okay, how about the Clippers and Pelicans? I think this is an easy one.
No, it's not.
I'll just come on. I'll take
easy.
LA. I'll take LA.
I don't know, because I don't know. I'll take LA. I'll take it.
Okay. So let's move on to those were all we talked about before the play-ins were Saturday matchups. Let's talk about the Sunday matchups now. So we have Charlotte being the 8th seed, so they would play Miami. Really quickly, you don't have to go into a rant.
I think that's a sweep. I think
it's 5 games. 5 games to Miami. We kind of already talked about the Nets and Celtics, but let's go over it one more time. Who do you have winning that?
I'm taking the Nets in 7.
You're taking the Nets?
Look, KD is one bad dude, and Kyrie playing his former team in the playoffs. I think that sparks something. Who knows about Ben Simmons? I feel like this guy can spring out of his bed and be like, I'm ready to play. But Nets in 7. I know it's a not so popular pick, but I don't know, man. Just
it wouldn't be a big shocker, but at the same time it would be because it's a 7 over a 2.
That man KD can do so much. And
yeah. I think I'm gonna go Celtics. I think they're gonna go 6. I don't think the Nets have enough firepower around KD and Kyrie. So that's my. So we have the Clippers as the 8th seed against the Phoenix Suns.
I think that's a sweep for the Suns.
If Kawhi comes back,
is he supposed to?
There's rumblings.
All right.
There's rumblings.
Suns sweeping them. I don't know. There might be rumblings or rumblings.
If Kawhi does not come back, I see 5 games because I see Paul George coming with the playoff P. But I see 5 games.
If Kawhi comes back, I'm taking the Clippers.
If Kawhi come back, I'll still take the Suns, but in 7.
if Kawhi is back, I'm taking the Clippers in 7.
against the best team in the league.
You're telling me, dude, Reggie Jackson, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, that's a stacked team. And they can lock up.
Did you just say Reggie Jackson?
Reggie Jackson's good.
No, don't get me wrong. He's a baller, but you're gonna put him in the same conversation as Paul George and Kawhi?
I mean, he can do as Reggie Jackson is the reason why the Clippers are going to be in the playoffs, probably.
Mm,
He was the only one playing for them when George and Kawhi is out. He's really the leading scorer for the team.
yeah.
And I think is Norman Powell, is he out for the year?
I'm not sure.
But
I am
I don't know.
not
I
sure.
think that in 7 games with Kawhi and Paul, they have a chance.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
But
So yeah,
without,
those are
but
the
without Kawhi, I take the Suns in 5.
okay. So let's just say what our matchups would be in this. Or no, never mind. Let's wait until the series is over, and then we'll go over the second rounders and compare what we said to what actually happens. Okay. So Jack, we're talking about basketball. We're going on to our final segment of the show, our top 5. And you had the great idea to.
Actually, we haven't discussed about our own team yet.
Oh yeah, you're right. Go ahead and talk about
Well, Carl,
that.
the Chicago Bulls are in the playoffs, and they have the courtesy of playing the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. Now, obviously, no Lonzo Ball for the Bulls, but everybody else will be back healthy.
Yes.
And they'll face off their arch rivals, the Milwaukee Bucks. Game 1 on Sunday at 5:30 in Milwaukee. The Bulls are 10-point underdogs.
Jeez.
Yeah, Carl, anything you got to say? Or one, what do you expect? What do you need to see from the
Well,
Bulls?
let me just say this.
What's
Let me
your
just say
prediction?
this. They did sweep us in the regular season 4-0. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a lot of hope, but there is some hope because we are in the playoffs. Anything can happen. We've seen 8 seeds beat 1 seeds in our lifetime, so it could happen. I don't see the Bulls winning. I see them stealing a game or two, maybe game 1, maybe game 2. But I don't want to say it, but I think Milwaukee wins in 6, maybe 5. I don't see it being a sweep or anything. But unfortunately, I just don't think the manpower of Levine, DeRozan. I'm not going to put Vooch in there because he doesn't show enough effort. I just don't see it happening.
How
How about you?
I got the Bucks in 6. I think a lot of people are really overreacting. In terms of just like the Bulls, because like, look, I'm not saying the Bulls are gonna win, but to say the Bulls are gonna get swept, Giannis is gonna drop 70 points. I think that's just blasphemy. And I think one thing that's important to realize in the last game for these both teams, Patrick Williams guarded Giannis, and Giannis only scored like 20 points.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying P. Will is going to be able to guard him like that every game, but I think with P. Will back, he gives us an advantage because we're not, and I think we're going to see a lot of Vukovic and Thompson together as well.
Mhm.
So, and I think with the chip on his shoulder that Levine has is in the playoffs now will really drive his game up. And like you said, I think the Bulls can steal a game or two there, but these are the defending champs. They have Giannis. They have Drew Holiday. They have Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
They are a great basketball team. But I will say this. All these games are technically home games for the Bulls.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're the home team against the Bucks, but it was reported a couple days ago the Bulls had a number 1 home attendance and road attendance.
Yeah.
And in those games against Milwaukee, you could clearly hear a lot of Bulls fans. And now it's the playoffs.
Yep.
I feel like Bucks tickets are probably cheaper than the Bulls tickets.
Probably.
So I think Bucks in 6. I'm not surprised if the Bulls win though. I think they have an opportunity. Like we said, it's the playoffs, but I take the Bucks in 6. If that is the case, it's been a great season for the Bulls. We'll find out. But
Yeah.
yeah, game 1 Sunday at 5 on Easter Sunday, 5:30. Tune in. It's gonna be a great game. Yes, I believe it's on ESPN, but
It's on TNT.
oh really?
Yeah.
But yeah, they haven't released the rest of the schedule yet because they still got to figure out
The
play-in stuff.
play-ins. So yeah.
But
So far, we
I
only know the
assume
game
it would
ones.
be I assume it would be Sunday, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. Because usually they give the teams 2 days off when they switch venues or whatever. So
I think it'll be every other day except for traveling will be 2.
yeah, so I would say that for right now, it looks like it's going to be Sunday, Tuesday, Friday as of now. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's playoff basketball. You got to come
Yeah.
you got left. I mean, this is it. Literally, it's like you lose 4 games, you're done. And,
Yeah. You got to win 16 to hold that trophy up.
Well, I mean, there is a tomorrow, but like, I think we said it. I think Levine and DeRozan just gotta kind of give you that death stare and be like, pick up your shit. And I think it's nice that this is probably the longest rest they've gotten
Mm-hmm.
since that All-Star, even longer than the All-Star break.
Yeah.
So
Because they played in it.
yeah, so we'll see how that affects the team as well. Obviously, the team needed a break, but we did see a lot of key things in that Timberwolves win. I mean, P. Will dropped 35. Io had like 25. So
Yeah, they combined for 60.
Yeah, so I mean, I think leaving P. Will on a high note is always a good thing. But yeah, we'll see. It's Bulls basketball. There's a lot of tension between these two teams. It should be fun. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about our top 5. You wanted to go over top 5 players in the playoffs.
Yeah, that are in the playoff. Well, actually, no, let's change that because the playoff field isn't set yet. Let's do. Let's do our top. Yeah, let's just do top 5. Wait, let's do. I got this one actually. No.
Okay.
I had to figure out how to word it.
Okay.
Let's do our top 5 NBA playoff moments.
Oh wow! I had a list and everything for the players.
Okay, then we'll go players then.
You want to do moments next week?
No, yeah, we'll do moments another time. Sorry.
Okay.
Carl has a list and we'll.
I already had the list of players.
All right, Carl, since you have the list, start us off with number 5.
Okay, so my number 5 is going to be if he plays Luka Doncic.
Okay.
He needs to prove something if he's going to prove he's the best player on the planet. And I think if he does play, he needs to get out of the first round. Okay, how about you? Oh, do you have a list or am I just going off?
Number 5.
Okay.
Ja Morant. I think Ja Morant's on another level right now. People are calling him the prime Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
And I think there's a case to be made for that. And I think Ja Morant we've seen him rise to the occasion multiple times. And I think this could be another example.
Yeah. My number 4 is Devin Booker. I think he showed a lot last year, making it to the finals, eventually not winning the finals. So I think he has a lot to prove. He proves being the best team in the league this year. He needs to prove to at least make it to the finals again, if not win it.
Okay. All right. Number 4 for me will be Luka.
Okay.
I think Luka, obviously one of the best players in the NBA in general, and he's an elite player, elite offense, and he can really change the narrative of any playoff series he's in.
Yeah. My number 3 is Ja Morant. I think, like you said, people are calling him the prime Derrick Rose. And even though this is his first playoff appearance, I still expect a lot out of him.
Okay. Number 3 for me will be Joel Embiid. Obviously, Embiid was a scoring leader the first time since Shaq. He was back with the Lakers, I believe.
Yeah.
Obviously, he can score with ease. Carl, we've seen it in person
Yeah.
because he's a bucket getter and he has great footwork, a great shot. And yeah, I would put Embiid at number 3 for my top 5 players in the playoffs.
My number 2 is going to be Kevin Durant. I think he needs to prove he can make the finals win the finals without Curry, without Clay, without Draymond. He needs to establish his legacy with winning the finals this year.
Number 2, I have Nikola Jokic. Jokic is literally a point center. He can do it all. He can shoot, he can drive, he can pass, he can rebound. Literally, if the Nuggets didn't have him, the Nuggets wouldn't be close to a playoff spot. And in my opinion, that's the definition of an MVP as well. So give me Jokic at number 2.
My number 1 is going to be a combo.
There's no such thing.
It's going to be Harden and Joel.
There's no such thing as a combo.
No, because they're the same
This is
team.
top duos. This is top
Oh
players.
my God. Fine. Joel. Fine. Joel Embiid is my number 1. Even though I don't like him, even though I think he's a crybaby and everything, he has the most to prove. He's not winning MVP this year, and he needs to prove that he can deserve one in the future by going off in the playoffs, winning in the first round, not getting upset in the second or in the conference finals. He needs to prove that he can be an MVP in the playoffs.
So no Jokic in your top 5.
He was going to be my number 5.
All right.
He's my number 5 that Luka doesn't play.
All right. Number 1 for me is that bad man out of Texas University that plays for the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant.
Okay.
There's really no explanation. He's Kevin Durant. This guy's like a 7-foot Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
You can't guard him. Like, you can't. And I'm sorry, but if Kevin Durant has a chance, I'm going to take him. And that's why I think the Nets are going to win that series, because they have someone named Kevin Durant on their team. It's Kevin freaking Durant. And yeah, he's easily the best player in the playoffs. I didn't have to think about that one at all. So yeah, I'm definitely taking Kevin Durant for that number 1 spot. Interesting to note how none of us in our top 5s had these players. Steph Curry. None of us had Tatum.
None of us had Giannis.
Oh wow, yeah. None of us had Giannis. None of us had Butler. None of us had.
Honestly, I thought you said the most to prove. I thought you meant most to prove in the playoffs.
No, I said best players.
Oh. My list is the most to prove.
No, I don't care what they got to prove. I want. This is what live TV gets you guys.
Because I don't think Embiid's the best player in the playoffs.
Then, do you want to redo your list?
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine.
That's, oh my God.
It's fine. It's fine.
I was wondering why you kept saying like this guy has something to prove in all your like explanations, and the reason my explanations were like, yeah, this guy is good. Like,
that's not me.
now you know Carl top 5 players to prove most.
Yeah.
So wait, okay, let me ask you this. Then
Okay.
if it's best players, is Curry in your top 5?
No.
Is Giannis?
Yes.
Is or Tatum?
No.
So where does Giannis go?
Probably 2. Behind KD would probably be my number 1.
Okay.
And then Giannis. Okay, this would be my list from 1 to 5. Number 1 would be Kevin Durant. Number 2 would be Giannis. Number 3 would be Jokic. Number 4 would be probably Embiid. And 5 would be Doncic.
So really, Giannis is the only difference in that list for you. So
No, I
so
took
basically,
Booker.
you would take.
I took Booker and Morant out.
Well, yeah, okay. I was gonna say that. So basically, you took Durant, or not Durant. You took Booker, and then you put Giannis in there, or whatever,
And Jokic.
and Jokic. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense then.
Yeah. So that's my top 5 players. I'd probably put Curry if he was at 100%. I'd probably put him at 6.
Okay.
And Tatum probably at 7. Jason Tatum is my favorite player in the league, but I don't think he's. I think he's the 7th best player in the playoffs.
I didn't know he was your best favorite player in the league.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, ever since he dunked on LeBron in his rookie year.
Yeah, interesting. No LeBron in the playoffs.
I kind of like it because it's
I freaking love it. I love it.
Because we're gonna have to get used to it. We've been used to it our whole lives, Jack.
I don't need to see LeBron in the playoffs to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Even if the Bulls weren't in it, I'd still be fine with it.
Yeah.
So
So
fine.
that's our list. I had 2 of them. Jack had 1. But that's gonna be the episode. Next week we'll talk about more Sox and Cubs. We'll
Our
talk
new
about the
segment.
We'll talk about our new segment, G in the Streets.
G in the
more
Streets.
to follow. What did I say?
No, I was just reiterating what you said.
G in the Streets, yes. We'll talk about the NFL draft. We'll have our mock draft, our whole first round mock draft ready for you. We're going to do it separately, but we're going to go rapid fire, so it's not that long. And then we're going to talk about how the NBA final or NBA playoffs are going.
Yeah,
So,
the Bulls will still be alive.
Yes, it should be game 2 or 3.
3.
Yeah.
So at least the Bulls will somewhat be alive by the
Yeah.
time we talk again.
Yeah, of course. So that was Shy City Boys. I'm Carl Liza. That's Jack Thiel. We'll catch you next time.